In this video, we're going to start a mini-series on building a better band, because I like alliterations. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to ask the question, can we make a better wind band than what we have right now? And that's a loaded question. It first presumes the idea that the wind band we have now isn't perfect. And it may be bad in our presumption. But it's not a bad ensemble by any means. It's something that I have loved for many, many years. So it's not going to be bad. But can we make it better? And that's the question we're going to try and answer in these next few videos. I posed this question to the concert band orchestration group earlier this morning, and there seemed to be a real dichotomy between American views and European views. And for the purposes of this video, we're really going to concern ourselves with the American view of the wind band, because the European view of the wind band is very different. It's seen as a very different kind of ensemble than it is here. So for the purposes of this video, we're just going to look at the American style wind band. Right off the bat, we need to talk about educational versus artistic needs. When we think of a wind band, we think of generally our school band, an educational ensemble. And these are fantastic ensembles. They are great for pedagogical needs. But we also have school orchestras. And I'm going to tell you something right now. The music that the school orchestra plays is not the music that the symphony orchestra is going to play in the concert hall. But guess what? If we have a professional band, a lot of times they are going to be playing that music that the high school band is going to play. So we have a discrepancy here. A lot of the music written for the wind band is written from a purely educational standpoint, meaning it's there to be a teaching tool. And it's not there as its first function to be an artistic tool. And this is one of the biggest differences between band music and orchestral music. Band is thought of as educational, orchestra is thought of as artistic. And that's not to say that orchestra can't be educational and band can't be artistic. It's just what we have to work with right now. So if we want to build a better band, we have to look at the artistic side and not the educational side. And this means we need to be looking at professional or semi-professional groups. In orchestras, these are everywhere. In wind bands, they're extremely rare. Within the United States, a professional wind band could very easily be fielded with the amount of wind players there are around. Here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area where I live, there are actually 2 professional wind bands and several that are sub-professional level. But there's enough players to field a dozen more just because there are so many people out there with a wind band background. To say the same thing for string ensembles, though, well, it's harder and harder to find good string players who can fill all the orchestra spots. But you can fill all the spots for a wind band pretty easily, which leads us to the question, is there a market for good wind band concerts, good wind band literature? And I would argue that absolutely there is, but it's got to be good. And there is the rub, that so many band pieces that, band people know and love aren't really that good. You can only play the same marches so many times. And this is going to get us into a discussion of a little bit of philosophy. Conservatism versus liberalism. And no, this is not politics, but rather the philosophical ideas. Conservatism will define as wanting to stay as it is. And liberalism will define as wanting to experiment and push forward, looking to the future, whereas conservatives looking to the now and the past. In a perfect world, we need a balance of both. We need to look toward the past and we need to look toward the future. When it comes to music composition, a great example I like to give on this is the difference between Johannes Brahms and Richard Wagner. They're both contemporaries of one another, and they're well known at the time. Brahms is our conservative figure. He is looking back all the time. Everything Brahms does is looking back towards Beethoven. Wagner is our liberal character. He is looking forward. He's asking, why not? What if? And that's kind of what we're doing with this video. We're asking, well, why not? What if? We're going to take that liberal approach. Now, not every composer or musician is going to fall completely into the liberal camp or the conservative camp. A fair example is myself. I am very liberal when it comes to instrumentation, orchestration, in that regard. However, I'm very conservative when it comes to harmony and melodic writing. So within a single musician, you can have both strains going at one time. We're going to apply these philosophies to the wind band in the course of the next few videos and ask ourselves, what if? Why not? So, I want you to stay tuned. I'm going to start doing something. I'm going to ask if you like the video, click like, and of course subscribe to the video because that's what YouTube tells me I need to do. And we're going to continue to explore building a better band.